My name is Nelson. Welcome to Aggressively Sweet. Once cracking, how's your butt? So today is Monday. Monday's the best day of the week. First of all, we get the Sunny podcast. Also, usually I never work on Mondays, so this is absolutely amazing. We're going to sit here. We're going to watch the new podcast from one of my favorite episodes. Maybe the whole episode isn't my favorite, but the part where Charlie goes America all over their asses is just the best. Rock flagging. Let's go.
Just excited to talk to each other.
The thing I noticed about the cameras is that because they're...
Guys, Mac is just always wearing freaking... Like, this is such a gym dude outfit, isn't it? Like, with the open here so you can get the pics out and stuff.
on this side that you always have... You kind of have a great shot.
No matter what.
Yeah, because you're looking left, you're looking right. We got to...
Hey, you know, oh, Megan!
Megan,
Oh my God!
We can't do things like that. We can't do things like
Let's
that.
get a camera.
Don't get
Let's get a
electrocuted.
camera on it.
Megan has, for the listener at home, she has dropped a liquidy thing.
God,
It was.
bottle that shattered everywhere.
Did it
There's a glass
shatter?
bottle
Did it
that's
break?
shattered.
She has shattered a
Wait,
glass bottle, but she's
Wow.
willing to work through it.
This is Meg's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
You guys, this is
Now the
great stuff.
center
Are
of
we rolling?
attention.
Are we
Yeah,
rolling?
yeah, we're
This is
rolling,
all. This is all good stuff.
Oh, wow.
Meg, did you want to talk a little bit about the Brooke? No.
I'm just gonna check to make sure I turn on the fucking camera.
Oh,
There, I see a little
We're
red
starting
dot on the
coming in hot.
cameras. Yeah, there's cameras now. We're now filming this podcast.
Meg, don't cut that. Don't.
What a fuckfest. I love it. I love it. Hey, they're close to 100 subscribers. Let's do it.
Rob, I have a question for you. Did you come straight from the set of AP Bio, and are you playing Jack now? Because you're dressed in my wardrobe on the show.
What show is this?
AP.
Dude, I love it. I love when they do that. When they do things that are not always sunny, and they're always like, I would never watch that show. Like when they do other...
Is it still on?
Are you still doing that? No, honestly, I know
Oh my
it gets
God.
It got canceled.
It got canceled.
I didn't even tell you guys that.
No.
Officially
I saw-
canceled? I thought you were done. I thought you said we're going to do 3 and then that was it.
No. Well, we did
did
4.
four.
I love it. Charlie doesn't even know how many seasons we did.
Well, you know, seasons are,
Yeah.
they all blend together.
Yeah.
now.
Charlie produces a show that we're doing that I don't know that he knows how many seasons we've done.
That's not true. That's not true. I know, and I have critiques, but you won't listen to them. So good luck. Good luck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing
But
that'll get.
you know,
That's
just-
the kind of thing that'll get you fired up.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
That kind of
telling
shit.
me that I don't care about the thing that I'm producing. Yeah, that gets under my skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh my God,
Because
it's
you're
fired
attempting
up.
to discredit my connection to the show.
Not really. I'm
Yes, you
just
are.
giving
That's
you.
what
I'm
you're
just
doing.
giving you bullshit.
No. There's something
He's
under
gi-
it. There's something. There's,
No, there really isn't.
Yeah,
Glenn?
There really isn't.
There really isn't.
No,
I don't.
know that there isn't.
It's just something you're sensitive to for whatever
In the
reason.
same way
you
that
know?
I'm joking about Glenn, not knowing Glenn's show, even though I actually put this on this morning and thought, oh, this is the way that.
Well, I'm
Glenn's
not
show is.
sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm not. If you said I didn't know your show, that's fine because I have nothing to do with your show.
Yeah.
Right.
I minimally have something to do with your show.
You created the show.
I have as much to do with your show as you want me to do, which seems like not too much, which I appreciate.
That was the original deal.
That
We
was
wrote
the
it
deal.
together
That
with
was the
Megan,
deal.
and then
Yeah.
and then you.
You kids are on your own.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
I love the show.
Thanks, bud.
He's
Fantastic.
he's offering his services, but he doesn't want you to take it up on it. Him up on it.
I'm
Does that make
well
sense?
aware of that.
You nailed
Okay.
it.
There
You
have
nailed
been
it.
a couple of times where I'm like, oh, do you want to come in the room? And then he's like, yeah, we can. I'd love that. We can work it out. But then I'm like, he doesn't really want to. He's saying that he does, which is really nice.
Yeah. He
But
wants to play
doesn't want-
golf.
Yeah, and he should be able to. He's earned that.
No, I do. I like the couple times you've been like, hey, you want to work on an episode? I've been psyched to do that.
Yeah.
And I would come do some acting or whatever. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
Well, look, guys,
I dig the show.
The thing is that nobody's
We're not talking
listening.
about that show, though.
Exactly.
That's-
Nobody
that's
cares
not
about
about-
AP Bio, guys. Nobody cares about Mythic Quest. They
Yeah.
care about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I don't know about that.
You guys seen that Beatles documentary?
His green coffee.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yes.
Don't get me started.
You don't.
Yeah, Glenn.
What's your deal?
Glenn.
What's your deal?
Don't get me started.
This is amazing.
This is
wanna
gonna
hear
get,
it.
this is
Let's
gonna
him
get me in
started.
trouble.
This is bullshit. Go
Glenn
ahead.
hates
What do
the
you got?
Beatles.
Oh,
He
get the
hates the
fuck out of
Beatles.
here.
No, that's not totally accurate. What I hate is that the Beatles seem to be given the credit for having, like, I don't know, invented music or something. Like, can we just stop it? with the Beatles. That's my thing, right?
Yeah, no,
There was
Glenn is
so
such a fucking
much musical
psychopath.
innovation happening at the time that the Beatles were out. Okay.
That's true.
Were they part of that? Yeah, they were a huge part of it. Maybe even the biggest part of it. But did they invent rock and roll? Was anyone else from the 60s worthy of the kind of attention that the Beatles get? It's just like, can we just shut the fuck up about the Beatles? God damn it. We get it.
You're not
He's a
annoyed at the Beatles. You're
psychopath.
annoyed at people's love of the Beatles.
I'm annoyed at the amount of times that I'm annoyed at how, like, the amount of shit out there is to celebrate the Beatles, but not to celebrate all the other bands that were doing cool shit at the time. That's what annoys me.
Okay.
Yes.
The documentary is amazing.
Yeah.
It's great because you really just see like that the moment where Paul picks up the guitar and he's trying to figure out songs like chugga chugga chugga. He's like, Jojo wasn't much.
You see the creative process that like really laid bare.
This is a stupid thing to compare it to, but it really made me appreciate our process and what we get to do, and just, you know, the times that we've just been in a room stuck.
John, his
and
mic
then
is
you're
too
just
high.
Bouncing ideas, and seeing the creative process, seeing how something comes from seemingly nowhere, and then goes through someone and then gets shaped by someone else is exciting to watch. So whether you like the Beatles or not,
Yeah.
Whether you like the Beatles or not, what you
seeing the
have to
creative
accept is that
process.
Charlie feels, and I agree, that we are the Beatles of
TV.
basic cable late night.
Well, no. I would say
do.
that we're the Kinks.
I
right?
do.
We were
shut up.
we were around
The Kinks?
We were because they made music for like forever. The Beatles made music for like 6 years.
okay, all
like
right,
6 years, and then we're like, we're out.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
right.
And the
Kinks
Kinks just kept going and going
And
and,
they were
going and going
always
and going.
like pretty cool, and
Yeah,
people
yeah,
listened
never
to them, but
got
they were like
enough
never
credit.
really got it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
All right,
did they
all
have
right.
some hit songs? Yeah, they had a bunch of hit songs. They had great hit songs. By
Yeah.
the way, I'm a big Kinks fan. I
Yeah.
love the Kinks. But
But they
also
never hit like the mainstream.
Not. I mean, they did. They did.
With a
Especially
couple
like
songs,
in the.
but people don't. People recognize the songs, but if you ask them who are the Kinks, they would have no idea.
Yes, and
I can't name the Kinks. I can name the Beatles.
which Beatle would you do you think you are then? If,
Definitely Paul.
yeah.
Okay. Well, which
see that.
Kink are you?
Jerry Garcia.
Yeah. See there.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem with the Kinks.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Then which
Bob
Beatle-
Weir.
If you're Paul, which Beatle am I? Which Beatle do you think I am?
I think you're a little bit of Paul. I think you're Paul too. I think you're Paul.
If you guys call me Ringo, I swear to fucking God. I swear to God.
think we
No,
all
you're George
have a-
Harrison.
Yeah, George was.
Maybe John. I mean,
You're definitely
interesting.
Harrison. Like, you know, like
He's he was
you're
about to call
damn
me John
good.
Lennon.
You could.
He was about to give me John Lennon.
well, in terms of the relationships with each other.
I know. You got a little John Lennon too. You got a little John Lennon.
I don't know.
But you
because I
got that
don't.
George thing where you could go and write an amazing song on your own, and then you don't get the credit for that. But then you're like, you can do it, man.
But you see, like Paul is like a maniac, like constantly like pushing things forward and saying, "Guys, like let's go, let's go, let's go."
That's
but I
you.
think, and that's me. But I feel like that's you too.
Yeah, it is. That's true. Yeah.
I don't
So
Charlie's
we're
Ringo.
all a little bit of Paul McCartney,
Yeah,
a little bit of
bit.
John Lennon,
Little bit.
some George Harrison,
Yeah.
and nobody's Ringo. Ringo's fucking great, by the way.
No,
he?
yeah, we're all three egomaniacs, right?
Right.
Who think we're the Beatles.
The difference is that we're in our 40s, and the Beatles broke up when they were 26.
Yeah,
right,
but they looked like they were in their 40s.
Yeah, they did.
They have baby faces, but they also
did.
look ancient, the way people used to.
That's interesting. I do
Oh my
agree
God,
with you though,
so
Charlie.
true,
I've
man.
always, and I've talked to you guys about this. Like I've always felt like our show, like I've always felt thought of us more as almost more as a band than people who are making a TV show, because you know there's not many people out there that and there there's a handful for sure, but like there very few people are actually the writers on the show who are also the actors, like who make the show, write the show, produce the show, and act on the show. You know what I mean? In the same way that a band writes their music and then goes and performs it.
Well, that was the interesting thing to me too, is like how sort of generous they are with each other in that where, you know, you sort of hear these stories about, oh, they were fighting and stuff, but not really, you know. It was like Paul would have an idea and they would like hear it out, and then John would want to do thing, or George got a little testy about something, but then they, you know, they're like, all right, let's do it your way. And
Yeah.
Oh, so I am George. You said he got testy. I see. I don't know there, but that
no, we
sounds
all
like
get
that
testy.
sounds like me.
I'm feeling chippy this morning. I'm
You
feeling a
are.
little
What's
chippy.
going
You
on?
seem
I
chippy.
got like 4 hours of sleep.
Oh,
Well, are we going to talk about Sonny or are we going to talk about how we're the Beatles?
I just pulled up my notes.
I think the Beatles conversation is a hair more interesting, but yes, we can segue into Sonny.
And listen, then we can segue back into the Beatles. I'm down with that. Or we can talk about other bands, that aren't the fucking Beatles.
This episode did not make me feel like we were the Beatles.
No, it didn't hold up for me.
Well, there were moments. Yes, there was a lot of really, really funny moments. So there were like some high highs.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple kind of clunky lows, I feel like.
There were some things, though, that we established in this episode. I believe this is the first reference, am I wrong about this, to Charlie killing rats? Oh. He comes into the beginning. He's like, I just killed about how many ever rats in the basement. And I'm like, good work.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the first reference to you being the guy who's like, killing rats in the basement.
This show is so old, and we did that so long ago that there were still many, many places, bars, that allowed smoking indoors.
Yes,
Right.
I picked up on that right away.
It was around that change where they were making
There was
laws.
a debate in this episode about whether or not you could smoke inside. And
yes.
I'm sure you can still smoke inside some places.
Casinos and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
But like your average pub in the U.S., I don't
nowhere in the United States now. Is that gone everywhere now? I think it is because I haven't been to a bar in any.
It's a state by state thing, so I have to think that maybe there's some states that
can
just
you.
Don't give
but
a
you
fuck.
can also make that a rule of whatever establishment you own.
I believe.
right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Regardless. Yeah. Of course, that'd be crazy.
Guys, you remember where that rat thing was coming from?
No.
Because I had so many rats in my house.
Oh yeah,
they were getting in my house.
You had real rats.
Yes, and you had a rat terrier as a dog.
Yeah, and the
Your
rat
dog-
terrier would just be like sleeping, and the rat would like run over its head.
You had to bat. I remember very distinctly you having a bat.
I do remember that.
But you had a good system, and then I've adopted that system, and I just used it last weekend when my cat had a mouse that was like still alive, and he was like playing with it because he's a savage.
Yeah.
And I used the way that you taught me how to kill it.
Oh, yeah. How did you dispense?
I don't remember. I was pretty ruthless in the day, and it haunts me.
Yeah.
You could still hear their
It's like
screams.
put it in a bag.
You put it
or
in the
something.
bag.
Yeah.
You put it in the bag.
Man.
No, it's a good way to go.
Look, let me tell you something.
quick.
Though. Okay.
Yeah. You put it in a bag and you smash the fucking bag.
There are humane traps you can catch
Because it's fast.
You can catch these things and you can bring them way out to the woods or whatever. But during the pandemic, I had 2 mice get in my house and they were like shitting everywhere and wreaking havoc. Oh. And I caught these fuckers in a glue trap, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't kill the mouse. So I got olive oil. I got the thing out of the trap, right? I got all the glue out of its fur, and I released it in my yard. I was like, I felt better about that. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, little mouse.
And then a hawk just immediately came down and
well, I'll tell you what, the fuckers came back.
Yeah.
They came back.
They
Now
gotta die. Now they gotta die.
I gotta die. Shut up, everyone. Shut up.
I didn't kill
guys,
him.
this
No,
episode
wait.
brought to you
Don't
by
turn me into a
PETA.
murderer.
This episode is brought to you by PETA. Giving animals a chance all over the world and making you feel bad about your choices regarding animals.
Hey, I'm PETA, and I bash rats. PETA rat basher. PETA.
That's it. Yeah.
So then these fuckers come back in the house, and I get a humane trap. I'm like, all right, I catch them in a humane trap. I catch them. I drive them all the way to. I read that you have to take them like 20 miles from your house, otherwise they. So I find a nice trash dumpster in Griffith Park that I'm like, this is a good place for you to live.
Yeah.
And I let them out there.
Oh, good for you. Hey, you know, there are actually, this is crazy. Somebody told me that they were having a rat problem at their house. It was a friend of ours, and they said that they found a rat sanctuary. Okay, so there are places you can get. The thing that I find so funny about, so what they do is they take in rats, right? Like in the way that that other organizations would maybe take in a stray cat or a stray dog. They take in stray rats, right? From people who have trapped them and don't want to kill them, I guess. And then they try to, they have a certain email list or whatever, and they contact people who would like to adopt these rats. Great. And the thing that I think is so funny about that is I can almost guarantee you that 99% of the people that are adopting them are feeding them to other animals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like nobody's like, there aren't enough people out there that are like, I would like to have a rat as a pet. No, they're like feeding it to their boa
snakes.
constrictor.
But at least there's
snakes.
you're reinstituting the natural order of things. Which
So
is,
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and in my case, what I'm talking about, my cat is a legit savage and will
cats
bring the mice in and torture it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I
it's
know,
like
that's-
Yeah,
it's,
I
it's
too
dead,
now have a
it's
stray
dying.
cat to
Yeah.
keep all manner of small creatures from my home.
And so he's the mouse is already dying, and the cat's like, I'm gonna keep this thing alive so I can fuck with it. And so that's why I bashed him.
Do you think if they could, the organization PETA would like have a go at your cat and come down on your cat and make your cat feel bad about what it does to these mice? You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's torturing an animal.
Probably.
Yeah, but it's another animal who doesn't have the brain capacity to understand what it's just doing what a cat does.
I think it knows exactly what it's doing, because the thing is like the spirit of a witch is living inside that cat. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know that's how it works,
He
right?
is.
Witches,
Yeah.
they die, they shed their bodies, and then they go into cats, and then you rescue them, and they torture animals. So really, it'd be PETA, sort of
It's really coming down on
admonishing
witches,
a witch.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I don't mean to put down all witches. I think there are probably a lot of witches out there that are doing good things. I just don't know what they are.
Well, you got to educate yourself.
Well, not.
First of
Do
all,
your
there are no
research.
witches out there. Don't go calling yourself a witch until you get your ass on a broom and fly across the sky.
Right.
Bullshit.
Yeah, you're not a witch.
You're not
Right.
a witch. You're not a witch. You could be into witch shit.
Right.
That's cool.
You could be witchy.
You can be into witch culture.
Yeah.
You can identify as a witch, which in these days is about as close as you can get.
Is it still appropriate to call a male witch a warlock, or is that a separate thing?
No. I think you're right. I think it is. I think it's a warlock.
So a witch is very specifically only women.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you could be a
Megan,
witch.
you speak for all women. Is that accurate?
You could be a witch doctor. In which case, you could be a man or a woman. Because doctors are men and women. Why did you give me
Yes.
that look? Men and women and all people can be doctors. So witch doctor, you wouldn't call it a warlock doctor, although that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Warlocker?
Oh, warlocker. We just created a new show, guys. Warlocker. You know what I mean? He's like he's
time traveling medicine man.
Medicine.
Yeah, sorry, medicine. No, we said specifically that the
It's a
war,
warlocker,
the war. If you add war to it, it's male.
Fair.
let me consult my notes, guys.
All right.
Some
well,
people
okay,
so a shout out to Lucas Papelius. Who
yeah,
was
he's
my-
great.
He's so good in the episode.
he's great.
Yeah, he
still
plays
keep in touch with that guy?
Minimally, but I miss him. I should reach out to him. The guy with the long hair who's protesting
Oh yeah.
was an actor pal of mine from New York,
Yeah.
and a very talented guy.
It was always fun to
Still lived in New York at the time, so it was easy
Yeah.
for him to make the trip into Philly.
Right. It was always fun to hire our friends because, first of all, a lot of our friends are super talented, and but it's also that there's that dynamic that you guys have, and that
Yeah.
scene that like you just wouldn't get necessarily with a
stranger.
regular guest, with a stranger guest star. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's really playing with you because he knows your sense of humor, he knows your style,
Yeah.
and he knows he can play.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the warlock conversation, Charlie may dabble in the dark arts because I believe
Charlie Day or
Yes,
Charlie Kelly?
Charlie Day.
Why do you think that?
Does- This man.
Because you're the only person consistently through season that doesn't change the way you look. Exactly the same. You look very different,
does.
Glenn. Caitlin looks very different. I look different. I think Danny looks different.
Zach looks the
It's
most
just
different.
genetics,
Well,
man.
see, he might not be dabbling himself, but like he like
I could have a good witch on my side.
That's what I'm
Who's going to
saying.
stop
That-
their witchy spell because they heard me denounce witches? I take it back. Thank you for your witchery,
witch.
and thank you for this fountain of youth. That
yeah, absolutely.
I don't agree. I look much younger in those episodes.
Well, looking at you now, yeah. But in my mind, you seem. I mean, but yeah, dude, that was 16 years ago. You don't look dramatically different.
No, you don't look dramatically different. It's kind of weird.
I haven't done dramatic things to myself. Like I haven't
true.
like gained a dramatic amount of weight.
Starved yourself.
Or
Silly for years.
yeah, I can't. I don't have the discipline.
It's like,
Gotta have discipline to starve yourself, guys. It's not easy. It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
why do you-
bet,
why do you
I
do
bet,
it?
because your body's dying.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, can you? Okay, so Charlie, tell everybody the story behind the Rock, Flag, and Eagle song that became
Oh,
so
yes.
iconic.
I feel like it's a riff that like Hornsby and I had, where
Right.
Hornsby and I would joke about truck commercials, and that they at that time, I don't know if they're still doing this. It seemed like they were just pumping out the most
They were trying to
stereotypical American things. So it was like eagles and rocks, and it was just like, you know,
flags
flying
everywhere.
They're
and
still doing that.
Bald
They're
eagles.
still doing that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the F-150 is the still the highest selling vehicle in the United States of America. I think. Megan, you want to verify that for me?
Megan.
I believe that's right. Or maybe it's the highest selling truck, but I think it is the highest selling vehicle.
Yeah.
So we used to joke around about like car commercials and, you know, like I got rocks and flags and eagles, you know, drive a big truck, gonna kick some ass, whatever. So that, I think it was just coming from there, just like grabbing that riff in my head. But also, you know what? Mary Elizabeth had a really funny one too. She used to joke that they would take it as far as like Jesus carrying the cross. And then all of a sudden like a truck comes up and he like throws the cross in the back of the truck to take himself up the hill. It was like, Jesus drives a Ford. So credit to Mary Elizabeth for that one.
That's pretty great.
But that was not scripted at all.
What was scripted?
There was not a song to be sung. He just started
I think it was just like, don't tread on me or something.
Yeah, don't tread on me. And then
I remember talking about this with him at the time. I don't remember if it was when we were writing the script or when we were doing the scene, and him telling, because I remember him telling us back in the day that was something that he and Hornsby used to joke about. Yeah, about truck commercials.
But the song, I think, was just you just came up with it.
The song.
Yeah, just spit it out on the spot.
I do feel like the chorus, the rock, flag, and eagle.
That was from the thing.
Yeah, it ended with that, but then that was the thing that you guys used to do. But you added a whole thing before it. Like, I love that.
You're laughing through the whole thing.
Yeah,
that I can see.
Yeah,
and I remember they were laughing too, which is why we don't cut. Which is why we don't cut to them.
Well, no, we don't cut to us.
Cut to us,
thank God, that's why. Like, I was watching the episode last night, and Jill was with me, and she it's like one of her favorite moments in the entire show.
Me too.
And she loves it. Like, we sing it all the time at our house. But it's great because you look at Caitlin, and she just reacts like a real. You know what I mean? Just like it's like looking at him like, what is he doing? Yes. You know what I mean? I know for a fact that you and I were just laughing.
Yeah, that's why you don't cut. You don't cut to us at all. You basically wait until he leaves, and then it cuts back to our reaction.
That's right.
Because we were laughing through the whole thing.
Yes.
That's funny.
And we would have ruined it.
I also remember
I don't
laughing.
think you would be able to get through that now. I think you would have cracked yourself up even more now than you would back then. I think
it's switched. I think at the beginning, I think I was much more quick to like think something was funny that I was doing, and now it's fucking you, man, and you too. Like when you do a funny thing, I'm dead. I'm like, I can't.
It kills you.
I can't look at you.
The scene I remember that was really hard to get through was you talking about explaining that you don't want
what Girls Going Wild is.
And we got like
so straight in this episode.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so straight.
So straight. You're a different character.
Yeah, I'm a completely different person.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I that's actually, I was thinking that too when I was watching. I'm like, oh, I feel like this is the first time I ever did that sort of like Dennis creepy Dennis thing of like, because it's very reminiscent of what we do later in the episode where I say like, don't you want to live in another man's skin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was something very funny to me about like a very low voice, like very intense, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that at the time, like, oh, that's funny. Like if it gets very quiet.
Yeah. And I think I remember Charlie kept saying like, get closer, get closer, get closer. And the closer we would get, I mean, it's like almost like the way I talk on the microphone.
Yeah.
And your lips were like right up against my face.
Yeah,
and I couldn't stop laughing.
I noticed you better without the pop card. The pop card was luring you in a way.
it was,
like without the pop card, you seem to be fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know if but I will say the pop guard I feel like does a better job at preventing the pops because I can pop the shit out of this thing.
Yeah.
And,
we might have to go back to the pop guards.
That might be a Juilliard thing. I got so good at articulating, you know what I mean, that like my P's are particularly, my plosives are particularly intense.
Yes. The top
Plosives?
3 vehicles in the U.S. are trucks.
Yes.
The top one is the Ford F-Series,
What'd I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What percentage
crazy.
of person?
How
What
good
the
did that
fuck?
make you feel? You were very happy about that. You were so excited to be right about that.
Well, it's like it's like one of those things where like I know I'm a smart guy, and then when I say something smart and it proves to the world how smart I am, then it's like, oh, now not only do I know that I'm really really smart, now everyone knows.
Right.
Right.
So of course it feels good.
It's satisfying.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I like when I get something right. I'm very happy with it. Always.
If you get super happy about getting something right, though, probably what it really is that
You're super insecure about much
how
you get
often I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
we all
exactly
are.
right.
Everyone's got that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can we stop down for a second to talk about trucks? Why did that percentage of people need trucks? How many people need a
listen,
truck? A lot of
you're
people
not-
need trucks. A lot of
you're
people are working and need that truck.
That's what I'm saying. You're not hauling lawn equipment around
No,
and
no, I know.
lumber and all that kind of stuff. But I
Yeah.
think, the average American is like needs to be able to haul shit around because they
The
can't.
average American,
Really?
the majority of people are need to be
No,
able to haul.
they're super.
Yes.
And they're super cost effective.
They are cost effective.
By the way,
Yeah.
I like trucks. I kind of want one.
I absolutely
I had a
want a
pickup
truck.
Remember,
You
I
had
had a
that,
pickup
yeah.
truck for
You had a Toyota Tacoma.
Pretty un-American of you, but you had a pickup truck. For
Yeah,
sure.
that was a little bit un-American of you, though. You want to talk about that?
Toyota. It was that. Yeah, that was made in the U.S. of A.
Did you color out the side so it just said "yo" on the back?
No.
Oh, you didn't do that
No,
move?
I should have. That would have been
Man, no,
cool.
That's
huh?
the move.
It would have been funny for you to do it knowing how stupid that is, but to do it just to annoy your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have been the
That's a
kind. That
great
seems like
truck.
your sense of
My
humor.
brother still drives that truck.
He still has that?
Yes,
it's
he
still,
does.
Yeah,
That's
look,
20
Toyota makes a
Those
good truck.
things,
Yeah.
They
those
make
things
a good,
last
They make a good truck.
forever.
Great truck.
Forever. Great truck.
Great truck. And you really do use it a lot more often than you think.
Well, listen, I mean, if you can't hire a mover because you don't want to have to pay the money, then you get your friends together and you throw stuff in your trucks and you haul it from here to there. You know what I mean?
My buddy's dad hauled kids in the back of his truck.
Yeah.
Like we would go to
yeah.
baseball games and stuff in the back of
That
his
was
truck.
before that was before the dual cab truck was more prevalent, right? So
The only time that we had to like get down is like when we were going over the bridge and going off the island in Rhode Island and then be like, all right, get down and go through the toll booth because I don't want to get pinched going like 50 on the highway with like six kids in the back of the truck.
yeah,
But let me tell you what, it was awesome.
It's totally
It was the
awesome.
best way to ride.
super fun.
Yeah.
Super fun. Super
Yeah, that's
dangerous.
true.
And super fun. Yeah,
That's
we
what
did the
makes
same
it
thing.
fun.
Safety kills the fun, man.
It does,
Kills
doesn't
all the
it?
fun.
Oh God, there's a moment in the episode that always made me laugh. That's there's a lot of it that's in the there's outtakes of it in the bloopers. But it's I always found it so funny, the concept of like Dee asking you where's your breath,
Oh yeah.
and you thinking it's
in my
and you thinking it's in your mouth, and it's the reason it's funny to me is because like it's plausible that somebody would be like where's my breath? Well, I feel it in my mouth. Like that's where.
Yeah. Well, technically, it is in your mouth, also. You know, like,
Right.
And if you're looking for it, where would you find it?
Yeah.
And then
Find it in the mouth.
in the bloopers, you misunderstood. You're like, she's like, no, it's in your diaphragm, and you're like, what? No, the diaphragm. That's the. And then you like make a gesture, like to keep the babies out or whatever.
And a little rubber, like
Yeah.
yarmulke that goes
in
into your...
in the outtakes. You say that like it goes in the monkey hole.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's right.
We cut that. Why didn't we put that in the episode?
I don't know.
Maybe we thought it was too far. I don't know. Maybe because like you guys were laughing.
Yeah, maybe we laughed through it.
I know,
Probably.
but that was one of the first instances in which somebody was making Caitlin break consistently.
Oh yeah, she's
and
tough.
she's
to
a
make
tough
laugh.
nut to crack.
She's tough.
Yeah.
That's one of the first scenes I actually remember doing, just me and Caitlin. Although I know there are other ones from the like when we go to see the Pop Pop.
Yes.
In the season before, but for whatever reason, that one sticks out to me as like.
It wasn't a pairing that happened all that often.
Yeah, and we were riffing, and it was
Their
funny.
pairing is
Yeah. I love that. I love
the
that
best.
scene. I love
Yeah,
that.
I don't
love
get that
everything
pairing a
about
lot, and I always enjoy it. Those episodes are always really funny to me.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing together.
So, big theme in this episode obviously is patriotism, right? Do you guys consider yourselves patriots? Are you proud of this country?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love this country.
So do I. Good. I'm glad we established that. Now, if you were to fight for this country and join one of the armed forces, which branch of the military do you think you would be inclined to join?
Wow.
I think I want to be a Marine.
You want to be on the ground. You want to get after it.
Yeah, just to have gone through that and say, yeah, I'm a Marine. Don't fuck with me.
Right. Cool. Oh,
That'd be
so
pretty
you wouldn't
cool.
do it to fight for your country. You'd do it because on the other side of it, you'd be like considered a tough guy.
For both. Yeah. Absolutely.
The perception. You like the perception of being a Marine.
No, I would like the reality of being a Marine.
You would?
But yeah, my buddy Carl's a Marine. And when the shit goes down, I know Carl can snap to action.
Oh, I see.
And take care of business.
Right. And
that doesn't just mean like a bar fight. That
DCOB,
means any
taking care of
situation.
business.
Right, getting stuck out in the woods and knowing how to build a fire and you know how to get rescued, and you know if you come across a bear, you're like, "Bitch, I'm a Marine," and then you get killed anyway.
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't
it's
matter.
bear.
'Cause it's a bear.
Unless you're done.
Yeah, but your attitude is different, right? You're not screaming. You're not screaming and running away. You're screaming and running at the bear, and the bear's going, "Oh no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I know you've been taught that, but I'm gonna maul you now," and then you die. But either way, you die a hero because you were a Marine.
Unless you win. Unless you kick that bear's ass.
That's true. How would you do that?
Fucking rip its head right off. I'm a Marine, man.
Right, just jump on its head, like jump on it from behind and choke it out, and then fucking, you know, like start going at it with your Bowie knife.
Yeah, I grab the nearest source of distraction, right? Whether it's a big rock or maybe just like a little branch, you wave it in its face.
Yeah, they love that shit.
Yeah, you're like it's and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
What is this? Is it food? Is it does this beast have a longer arm? And then before you know and before that stupid ass bear knows it, bam!
You're on it.
Rock to that, yeah.
Rock to the
Yeah,
head.
but this is fantasy Marine, man. This is
Yeah, that's right. Well, by the way, a rock to the head on a bear, I think, would probably just be like, ow. It's just going to piss it off. Dude. You know what I mean? Like, there's
right down the throat. It chokes on the rock.
Oh, you stuff it down its throat? Like
I don't know. I'm not a Marine. I haven't been trained in this yet.
I would stick a bone in its mouth like Luke Skywalker did to that creature in Return of the Jedi. You remember when he gets when he falls down into the pit in Jabba's lair?
Yeah, and then
the Rancor.
Yeah.
The Rancor.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got it, and so he takes a bone and sticks it in its mouth, and you know that was pretty cool. And then he throws a rock and hits the thing, and the gate comes down on the Rancor's neck.
Kills him.
Yeah, you know what I always really loved about that scene? Can I just say this real quick? Like what I find so, this is why that first trilogy was just so great. It's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons. But like I love that like he kills this like this monster, this monstrous, scary fucking creature that like basically its whole thing is it eats the people that get thrown into that pit, right? And it's scary, and it's got a scary mouth, and it looks scary, and it sounds scary. And then Luke kills it, and as it's dying, it sounds like a sweet little. It's like, and you kind of feel bad for it. And then the trainer, the guy, the handler, the Rancor's handler, that's this like fat guy, comes waddling in and is crying.
Yeah.
He's crying
Just
because
to
he's
really
so
fuck the
upset.
kids at home up, but you know.
Yeah, I just thought that was
remember
such a
that.
good touch.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah.
That's fucking
Somebody's
smart.
sad. Yeah.
Most
like,
movies in the 80s,
yeah.
they would not have portrayed a creature like it was more simple than that. It was like this is a bad monstrous creature.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And the good guy's going to kill it, and you're not going to feel bad at all because it was a bad creature. But in this one, you're like, no, it's like there was someone who cared for this creature, who fed this creature, who took care of it. And I just think that's brilliant. So good job, George Lucas.
Good job,
good.
Star Wars.
Great.
Yeah, good job, Star Wars.
I think you're gonna make it.
Yeah, Star Wars,
Glenn,
the Beatles of movies.
What I know you're the host of the podcast, so I'm sorry to take that responsibility from you for just a second. But can I ask you, what armed force would you like to join?
Oh, I did want to go back to that. Yes. Well,
Well, I think I pretty like by default almost would have probably joined the Air Force because
I thought so.
Just because my grandfather was, well, at the time it actually wasn't the Air Force, it was the Army Air Force because the Air Force was a part of the Army. They weren't their own branch yet, but and that so he was in the Air Force, and then my dad, of course, was a Air Force Academy graduate and flew airplanes, and so he was in the Air Force. So I think I probably would have done that, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, and by the way, that's the reason my grandfather joined the Air Force when he was like in his late 20s because he knew he was going to get drafted for World War II. He was a jazz musician. He played the trumpet and he played the piano. He was in a jazz band. That's what he did. He was a jazz musician. But he was like, I'm about to get drafted. And he's like, I think I'd rather be in the air than on the ground. So before getting drafted, he joined the Air Force and became a pilot, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and your dad fought in Vietnam, right? I mean,
And then my dad flew in Vietnam. Yeah. Yeah. But it's interesting because my grandfather also, I mean, he saw some, you know, I think he thought maybe it was going to be safer in the air, and boy, was it not.
Well, my grandfather thought it would be safer in the sea, and it wasn't.
No, it wasn't safe anywhere.
No. Well, it was a war.
Well, it was a war.
It was
yeah.
a war. These are some
no,
tough
but I mean,
people.
I'm not kidding when I tell you that my dad tells stories of my grandfather that were told to him by my grandfather. My grandfather never got around. I never got around. I don't know, a kid, and I never got these stories. But like my dad was telling me, after almost every single mission, my grandfather would bring his B-52 bomber back and land it, and it would just look like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean?
He's just getting shot to pieces up in the sky.
Like barely getting it back.
Damn.
Yeah. My grandfather was on an aircraft carrier, and he would talk about getting strafed like on a daily basis. Strafed, sorry, on a daily basis, and then like, he would come home and the boat would be like torn apart. He got shot.
Yeah.
And like they were in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And when I was in my early 20s, I was navigating traffic down Franklin.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was like, this sucks.
Bitching about traffic.
I gotta fucking sit here while the traffic up Laurel Canyon. I'm like, I gotta get home. I gotta get.
My grandfather died
In the war?
in a military training accident in an airplane.
I didn't know that.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, my dad was 4, so I never met the man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, how about that?
Should we hug?
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Do we hug him?
you know, so my grandfather, you know,
His
too,
hands
guys.
on his hips.
'Cause my grandfather, you know, so, you know what I mean? Thanks, guys. I never met the man. Never met the man.
Oh, that is sad.
is sad.
That's too bad. That's too bad. Yeah. My one story that my dad told me about my grandfather that I'd never heard, and he told me this last Christmas, I think, or the last Christmas I was home, which sadly was 2 years ago because of the pandemic.
Can you get more specific about one of the stories?
Oh God, I know. I go into unnecessary detail. I
Give me
apologize.
the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Approximately what time was
It was about 12:30.
Were you hungry? Had you eaten?
I was still just doing the coffee thing, I think.
Okay.
Probably, but,
12:30 Pacific Coast time.
Yeah. My cousin was there too. He was a helicopter pilot. Anyway, all these unnecessary. Anyway, he was flying a mission one time, and he was flying low, and his co-pilot, who was a very close friend of his, the plane was getting strafed, and at one point, he looked. He saw his friend and his co-pilot literally just get physically cut in half. Cut in half by bullets.
That's fucked.
He then fell forward on the yoke and was pushing the plane downward. So my grandfather had to proceed to fly the plane with one arm while holding his best friend with the other arm, holding him up so that he wouldn't
Push the plane down.
push the plane down.
Damn.
And landed the plane that way.
That's messed up.
That's the kind of thing that like I can't even
No, you
comprehend.
can't wrap your head around that.
No. To tie it into the episode in some regard, because we have a deer hunter reference in this episode for those who've never seen the movie The Deer Hunter, the sort of roulette, the Russian roulette game they're playing at the end with Frank with little eye patches, stolen directly from the movie The Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
When I saw that film, it rocked me for
too.
for two reasons. One, just like maybe
Yeah,
I was
if you
young
haven't
enough
seen
to
that
be
movie,
like, oh,
yikes.
war's like this. Oh, war is bad.
Yeah.
but also in terms of acting, where I think you're a kid and you see Superman or The Three Amigos or whatever, and I don't really think much of acting, and then you see The
Right.
Deer Hunter, and you're like, oh, acting can be that. That's what acting is, and that's the thing that's the movie that changed me in terms of.
Yeah. The performances in that movie are just, if you guys haven't seen
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable movie.
It's just like it's required viewing.
It's just like Sunny.
It's very similar to Sunny. But it is amazing to think about, like, because I've met your dad, I've hung out with your dad many times, and he couldn't be kinder or sweeter. And it must be difficult, though, in some way to like come back from what he had to experience in Vietnam, and then just not only fold back into normal society, but then also have to listen to people complain about the shit we complain about.
That's right. It
Right?
was.
Like everybody's experience and pain and struggle is relative. We get that, but still, like when to go through something like that and then come back here and hear me bitch about, like I said, like the traffic on Laurel Canyon. I mean, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. No, he did. I mean, he did experience that, as I recall. I mean, he I don't know, let's see, how old was he when he came back? I can't remember. He must have been 25 or 26 when he came back.
Well, my
from
brother-in-law,
Vietnam.
same thing. I mean, he did 2 tours in Afghanistan, flew Apache helicopters, but he couldn't be kinder or sweeter. And he just texted me the other day. And he's like, I heard about your foot, because I tore some ligaments in my foot. And
Yeah, he wasn't like man up or anything. He was like, he had empathy.
Yeah, which is which is crazy considering what he had to go through.
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys felt a lot. I mean, I know my dad. He came back and he was like, he was like, he didn't know what was going on in the culture. You know what I mean? He didn't know what was going on like music wise or like, you know. And I think to some degree, everything just kind of felt like super weird to him. Like the things that people concerned themselves with were very strange to him.
Like the Beatles.
Oh.
You know,
Really?
well, it was
What
the
do you mean?
60s.
No, the Beatles. Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean his experience with the Beatles? He was a big.
Like,
He actually was
Beatles
a big.
got long hair now.
I don't know. I was trying to bring it back around just because it's a comedy podcast.
Yeah. We'll cut all this.
We'll cut
all
that,
this.
cut that, cut that.
Sentimental
Don't cut it.
shit.
Don't cut it. Don't cut
Guys,
it.
we love our service members who.
Yeah.
Who,
Yes,
You know,
very much so.
but
Many friends and family.
the whole thing about patriotism, man, that's been adopted by all sorts of extreme groups. That it's pretty frustrating.
It is frustrating. It's frustrating the implication that if you're a liberal and a Democrat, that you're not as much of a patriot. That's what it feels like. I know that's maybe not.
We're all suffering the extremes of this country, just like the extremes on the right, extremes on the left. I think most people fall somewhere in the middle and are just like, what? Can these guys just shut up? But they can't. That's their thing.
That's the nature.
That's what it is. You know.
Speaking of falling somewhere in the middle,
Can we talk about that jacket?
Sure.
Talk about that jacket for a second.
sure.
It's kind of sort of like a Southwest vibe.
Glenn's
It's a
wearing
cool jacket.
Button up, snap up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the
Southwest
video
jacket.
to check it out.
Yeah, we have video now.
Kind of has like a
right, like a Santa Fe kind of.
like a
like it.
Connor from Succession vibe.
I dig it. Connor from Success.
Which one is?
Right.
Oh, you see the
brother.
one who wanted
Yeah.
to
From
run
Ferris
for president.
Bueller.
Yeah, from Ferris Bueller. Yeah, Alan Ruck.
Yeah,
It's got that kind of
I'll tell
Southwest
you,
vibe.
man,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
show, the guy who plays Tom,
Amazing.
Oh my God.
Everybody on that show is
everyone's
fucking
amazing, but
So good.
I feel like as an actor, I see that guy and I'm like, oh man, this guy's got all the pitches, fastball, slider, curve, everything.
He does, yeah.
Everything.
He's got the goods.
He's
big
got the
time.
goods.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He's
Holy cow.
And his style. He's so funny.
So
But his
funny.
style of being funny is like nothing I've ever seen. I've never seen an actor
I don't know
do
this guy.
comedy the way he's doing comedy.
He's
never.
great. Top notch.
Top notch. Is there something else you wanted to ask me about this jacket?
I've just never seen that before. I've never seen you wear that. Even I've never seen you dress in that style.
It was-
Is this a new thing? Is this something we're going to lean into?
No. I've actually had this jacket for a really long time, and I haven't worn it because I thought it was. I felt like it was too long. You can't really see how long. But I actually asked Charlie when I first came in. I was like, "Hey, man, do you think this jacket's too long?"
No, it's not long
And he
at
said,
all.
"Why are we talking? Why are you talking to me that we haven't started the podcast yet?"
Right. Save,
Yeah,
save it.
save it.
No, but he actually told me that it wasn't too long, and now I feel pretty good about it. You know what's cool? It's reversible. Look at that.
Whoa, that's so
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
That's a ton
I like
of
a
fun.
good
That's a ton of fun.
That
right
is
there.
Isn't
Yeah.
that fun?
Yeah.
A reversible jacket is just it's a twofer.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Your dad's getting shot to shit and you got a reversible jacket.
That's right.
You know,
There we go.
like,
I'm online looking. I'm frustrated because I can't find the right twofer jacket.
you're wondering if your jacket's too long.
Right.
Hey, man, look, we got to live. You know,
Yeah.
you got to be you.
Hey guys, this was the first time we had Margaret McPoyle on the show.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the funniest things in the episode, if you, again, for those of you who are going to go back and watch these with us, there's a moment where
I started rewatching it again
where
now.
Nate Mooney's character, where Ryan McPoyle is making out with Margaret McPoyle, and Liam is just sitting there watching. Now, do yourselves a favor. It's very hard to take your eyes off of what's happening with Ryan and Margaret. Do yourself a favor. Next time you watch it, don't watch Ryan and Margaret at all. Just watch Jimmy Simpson. Just watch.
Oh my
Liam
God, I gotta go
McPoyle's
watch it now.
reaction to that makeout session, because it is so funny. It's so
it's
weird.
joyful, right?
Well, yeah, he's just like watching with like a little like smile on his face, and he's just like, yeah. Yeah, and he's almost kind of laughing, like, because I think he also Jimmy probably found it slightly amusing, and he was like, "Well, that works for the character."
I think it's interesting that we kind of all, after watching the episodes, we kind of all agree when one is like good, like holds up, to our standard now, and when one doesn't.
We have a baseline for what we want it to be, and it's
But we
very
can-
difficult to make any kind of movie or any kind of television show work, because there's no math to it. There's no science equation of like, you simply add this and this and this and it all adds up, And And that thing that you're looking for, much like when the Beatles are looking for a song, there's no like meter that goes off and says, yes, this is a working song. This is how you get there. You have to make it up as you go along. And I agree. It's very interesting that we all have some kind of standard for what that is. Glenn, you and I later today are talking about the season of Sunny in the press on another podcast. And without discussing, you and I both picked the same episode to talk about.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
And I do feel like that particular episode, which is the second of the Ireland ones, I feel like is one of the best ones we've done for years.
Yeah, me too.
Who knows exactly how we get there or why?
Which one was it? That was the Lethal Weapon, eh?
So,
I think that was
watch
genius.
This episode and say, oh, there's moments of what we want the show to be, and there's moments of what we don't want the show to be. And we can kind of learn from that and go to the next episode, but you can't really learn until the next year because we're doing them all at the same time, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, well, and also you just our tastes, change through the years. I'm not. My sense of humor is not the same as it was in 2006.
Sure, but I bet we. I can't know for sure, but I bet we felt roughly the same back then.
Roughly,
where
the
we
same,
were probably like, oh yeah, there's some good parts of this one, and maybe some aspects that aren't as good as it can be.
I think
you
that's
guys are
probably
doing
true.
a podcast without me?
You declined, buddy. You were invited.
Which one was it?
I don't think he wasn't. Oh, was he?
He
invited?
was invited. Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
didn't know
Vulture.
Yeah, so the good one.
We're just doing some
podcast?
press,
Oh,
and
okay.
you were unavail.
Tech on avail.
Well, I'll make myself available for you guys. I thought
Nah, we're
usually
good.
I thought you.
We're good. We got it.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we've learned a lot here.
Yeah, we got it.
We learned a lot about you.
Yeah, I think we've gotten enough out of you today. Guys, I just want to say I love America. I am very grateful for this country that we live in. I'm actually not even joking at all. I think we're extraordinarily lucky to be born here. Not that other countries aren't great too, but I'm very happy to be an American. And I would like to sign off by just saying rock, flag, and eagle.
I'm with you. I believe in America, and I believe in where we can get with America. And, which is that's the great thing about this country is that we can keep attempting to improve it. I think there's a lot of people out there frustrated about where the country's at, and worried. And
that's fair.
And we've been through bumpy roads before, and we'll get through it, or we won't, and it's all going to end. I don't know.
It may end.
But if you're looking for your answers in a comedy podcast, that's probably part of what's wrong.
Yeah. Rob, you want to say anything?
Rock, flag, and eagle.
Sounded like you said Rob, flag, and eagle.
That's sort of a boy. I gotta dig deep. For that.
Yeah, that's a Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
Rock, flag, and eagle.
All right. Well, John, Paul, and Ringo.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic. Hey, that was a great one, especially the start. Oh my God, these guys are just too freaking funny, man. Too freaking funny. The part where he talks about the show and he's like, what show is this? Well, that's so good. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. Rock and rollies.